So many of our young motor racing stars had their beginnings in kart sport, the likes of Fabian Coulthard, Greg Murphy and of course Scott Dixon.
I think you can ask any successful race car driver around the world what did they first do, and that was go-karting. It teaches you car control, it teaches you how to deal with, even with sponsors these days. It teaches you so much that without it you couldn't be successful.
Well, Kartsport New Zealand have a new incentive that they've released this year, and it's the Kartside Insurance Kartsport Academy. We're down here at Hamilton this weekend with the Hotshots Academy. I mean, we look at this track, this is one of the premier facilities in New Zealand at 865 metres long.
It's the ideal place to have, with the Hotshots program, it's the ideal place to have it, definitely.
And I mean, speeds we see with the rental karts sort of around the 40 to 45 kilometres an hour range. What sort of speeds are you topping here at Hamilton?
Obviously class dependent, kids are doing anywhere up to sort of 80 k's with the cadets and JRs. Junior Yamaha up to 100 k's, then probably 120 with most of our senior Rotaxes, and up to sort of 140 with most of the shifter stuff.
Who's eligible to run in the Hotshots?
Well, this is the latest development of the Academy. This is for A and B rated drivers, our best drivers or our better drivers, enabling them to get up to national level and compete right at the front of the pack.
The two-day Kartsport Academy course involves both practice on the track and study in the classroom, with a team led by professional sports and motorsport coach Nicky Irwin.
So going back to the things we've covered, first one is body position, thinking of that video. Very still head, very still shoulders. It stops the weight moving around in the kart, keeps the kart very balanced. Then thinking about our throttle control, thinking about places on the track where we have to just back off. We're going to know that we have to back off for those places and try and see if we can roll back on the throttle but still drive through those sections with throttle on. Okay, so what's going to happen now, we're going to go out, we're going to get cadets on the grid, we're going to get a coach who's going to come over, they're going to go through those things, you're going to go out on the track, a coach is going to go out there and observe you, and then when you come in, they will give you some feedback.
While the youngest of the Kartsport classes, the cadets, practice what they have learned on the racetrack, the junior drivers and their fathers get instruction on kart setup from one of the coaches.
So the tyres, when they were treated, were working in that 22 to 25 bracket, but now they're a lot harder, and to get some grip into them, I think we're going to probably be pumping the pressures up to try and get some grip into the kart. So what we really want to be focusing on at this point is putting some more grip into the front of the kart, I think, and then we'll get, if we can narrow the rear of the kart up, we'll get the kart to stay and drive off the corner. But let's work at the front. So ride height, where are we at?
We're sitting in the middle at the front,
so,
and right at the back.
Okay, so if we look at the front of his kart here, we're in the middle. So what we'd probably be looking to do is raise the chassis, so to put some more mechanical front grip into the kart, that'll make it bite. I always try and break the corner down into three, so when we come in, when we turn, does the kart go initially where we want it to go, or does it take time? And then in the middle of the corner, if the kart's pushing across the corner, there can be two things that create that, and that's where we get confused. So if you break it down, guys, and you've got to tell Dad what happens when I initially turn, like when I turn the wheel, does the kart go where I want, start to go where I want it straight away? If it doesn't, we haven't got enough front grip.
All aspects of driving are covered in sessions on the racetrack. The objective here is to help these already experienced racers to take the next step.
Obviously, if you come to like a CIK trophy style meeting when the weather is very hot and we have a lot of rubber on the track, there's a lot of adhesion in the track, so the kart creates a lot of grip, so we can afford to brake quite late. You come here in winter, or you get a couple of days of rain, there's not a lot of rubber on the circuit, the track temperature is very low, and that really affects the braking in the kart. You will find your braking conditions will jump back 2 to 3 or probably 4 kart lengths in most instances, and that's what you'll learn. But the more familiar you become with your kart, obviously on test days, that's where you'll learn the limits of where you can find your braking points with the kart. So, but as far as the actual physical braking techniques go, obviously the main option of the game is to try and slow the kart down as much as you can and in the shortest space of time that you can up to a corner.
The way to success in any sport is practice, and karting is no exception. So there is a strong emphasis placed on the on-track sessions to cement the knowledge learned in the classroom. To make the point strongly, the instructors themselves demonstrate the right way to do things and sometimes the wrong way.
Okay, so he did quite a good job of that one. He came in very late, he braked hard, he controlled the kart in a controlled slide, got control of the kart again, turned in, apex nicely and got back on the gas. Okay, again that was a pretty late braking attempt and not well controlled. Tony didn't manage to pull that one up in time and slid right past the apex. So effectively he would have hit the kart that he was attempting to pass. So that would have been a big no-no and a little trip off to the steward's room.
What other levels are there with the Kartsport Academy?
Well, we've run a year of the Explore and Learn, which is for juniors when they're just coming in, or anyone for that matter who's just joining the sport, and that has been spectacularly successful. Over 25% of our youngest drivers have been through the academy in the last 12 months.
And the top end of the academy?
The top end of the academy will hopefully kick off next year, and that's where we get in behind our athletes who compete internationally and get them onto the world stage, which is the next and final part of the academy.
Those that have gone on from karting to star on the world stage include 2008 Indy 500 champ Scott Dixon and New Zealand A1 GP star Johnny Reid.
Look at this traffic and look at Dixon.
Look at Dixon on the high side. Look at Marco on the inside. Scott Dixon from the pole position, the 19th driver to win from the pole position.
Down in 8th place and stuck behind South Africa.
And so for Johnny Reid, really, he's got himself up from 10th to 8th position on the opening lap.
Yeah, we're trying to give everybody the full experience here. You know, to get everything right on a race day takes a lot of effort, and you need to tick all the boxes. So we're putting all the boxes up there. We're giving them, you know, psychology and nutrition and a bit of fitness training as well as the hands-on driver stuff. So they've got a full package when they turn up. They can go out and give it everything.
Well, that's it from the Hotshots part of the Kartside Insurance Kartsport Academy. If you would like to find out a little bit more about how to be involved, look up the Kartsport website, www.kartsport.org.nz. Everything right on a race day takes a lot of effort.